Am I the asshole for telling my daughter that I'm disappointed in her? Original post on May 6, 2023. Hello all. It's been rough with my only daughter as of late. My husband and I have one 30-year-old daughter. We have been married coming up on 32 years soon. My daughter was in a long relationship and married for approximately 9 years, and for a long time I thought that it was a good relationship, when out of nowhere around 3 years ago, she decided to divorce her ex-husband. We were told it was a mutual decision, but that ultimately, he wasn't the greatest partner, and there were many things that she was not satisfied with in their relationship, so she wanted to leave. We supported her decision. About a year after the divorce, she introduced us to her new boyfriend, and while my husband and I thought it may be a bit early to date, we decided to continue to support her and meet him. He was, and is a very charming man who treats our daughter wonderfully, and you can tell she is extremely happy. Now to the argument. Recently, we were talking with one of our daughter's friends who was visiting our town, and we're discussing our daughter's job and her wonderful boyfriend. Her friend in the conversation made a comment about how they were lucky to be in the same orientation together when they started work. As soon as she saw our confused faces, she gave us the full story. As she realized we hadn't been given it, our daughter had told us while her and her boyfriend worked for the same employer, they didn't meet until after the divorce. We pressed the friend for more information, and she begrudgingly told us that our daughter and her boyfriend had met during orientation at work while our daughter was going through her marital issues. This led to them becoming closer and her filing for divorce from her ex-husband about a year later. So later that day, I asked to have a conversation with my daughter and brought up what her friend had told us. She turned white as snow and basically confirmed her friend's story, but reiterated that there was no physical cheating. I told her that physical cheating was not the only way that you could hurt someone, and that it appeared that she had emotionally cheated on her ex-husband. He may not have been the greatest person, but it didn't excuse her actions. I told her that I was disappointed in her, and while I supported her leaving a bad marriage, that I couldn't look at her and her boyfriend the same in this new light in regards to cheating. I still love her and will treat her boyfriend with respect, but it is definitely something I have a hard time looking past. She got angry with me for not continuing to support her in her journey beyond divorce. Am I the asshole? Update on May 12, 2023. My daughter has approved me giving an update, answering some common questions from all of you. 1. Yes, my daughter got married at 18. Her ex-husband was also 18 at the time. Me and her father did not think that getting married that young was a good idea, but supported her as she was an adult. 2. I did not have a good understanding of what the marital problems my daughter was experiencing, but she confirmed that there was no abuse from her ex-husband. 3. She has always been a very private person, but that has never been an issue as she has always been honest with us. On to the update. I received many messages and comments from you all, and I do appreciate the advice and wisdom all of you gave. I think the thing I struggled with the most was being lied to. I felt hurt that my daughter didn't want to tell me the truth, but I realized that this discussion wasn't about me, so I asked my husband for advice, and he recommended my daughter and I sit down together and talk it out. My daughter agreed to talk to me, with the condition that my husband mediate. My daughter started the conversation with that she didn't tell us about the true story about her boyfriend for 2 main reasons. 1. She was worried about being judged by me, and I confirmed her theory. Hearing this made my heart so sad, to see that my own daughter was worried about my judgment. 2. My daughter admitted that she was ashamed for how things down with her divorce. She and her ex were going through some rough times, her work schedule being crazy, and her husband being depressed contributed. She met her then boyfriend during this time and confided in him about this. Before she knew it, she was texting him every day, and even going to his house to hang with him and her friends. She realized at that time she was wrong, so she filed for divorce, and they started officially dating the day after her divorce was final. She again said she didn't physically cheat, but admitted she was not proud of how her marriage ended. The conversation then went to my side. I reiterated that I supported her and her boyfriend. He is a kind and nice man, and he treats her well, and that I loved her unconditionally. I apologized for how I acted, and asked if she could forgive me. She accepted my apology, and did tell me that while my words hurt, I am still a good mother, and that my love that I've given her and her boyfriend has been consistent, and that my actions spoke to that. We agreed to go to some family therapy together in the future to continue to work out these feelings. We cried, hugged, and I think things will be okay. People can screw up, including myself as my last post shows, but ultimately good people will always be welcome in my home, and I never plan on changing that. My best friend thought that shoving her breast down my daughter's throat to calm her down was completely okay. Original post on May 31, 2023. Basically what the title says, I have a daughter of 10 months. Me and my best friend have always been super close, and she helped a lot during my pregnancy and after childbirth, so it always came naturally to me to ask her for help till she became some kind of nanny for my daughter when needed. She's always been very eager and happy to help, since she has no children of her own. She had a miscarriage in the past and stopped trying afterwards. So we were at a mutual friend wedding yesterday, and I was holding my daughter for quite some time since she hates strollers. My best friend came to me and offered to take her for a while so that I could take a break and go chat with some friends. I agreed and wholeheartedly thanked her. After 20 minutes or so, I come back to where we were, and she wasn't there. So I start looking for her in the garden, and she was literally nowhere to be found. Finally, after another 10 minutes, I managed to find her, and I see her talking to some people while holding my baby with her boob shoved down my daughter's throat. I literally tried my best to keep my composure and not to scream, so I went to her and said that we needed to talk. After reaching a quiet place, I yelled WTF was wrong with her and why was she nursing my daughter? She looked at me in disbelief, and she replied that she understood that it was the best way to calm my daughter, and that there's nothing wrong about it, adding that she could very well be her daughter. WTF, I was shocked, but we couldn't keep up the conversation because we needed to get back inside for the wedding cake. I told her that we would have continued the discussion later on. We never did, but we agreed to meet today in a couple of hours. Honestly, I'm so fucking mad. What the fuck? Why did she had to do it? I don't even fucking know what to tell her without raging at her. It's been nearly a day and this thought never left my mind, not even for a second. How could she say that theirs was nothing wrong with it? I feel like she violated my daughter, and she gave literally zero F about it. I'm trying to arrange my thoughts before talking to her. I hope I don't end up hitting her. I'm nearly bursting out. Edit, 5 hours later. So we met and we talked. I let her talk first. She explained that my daughter was restless while she was talking to a couple of women, and they said that maybe she was hungry and it was fine for them to keep talking while she was breastfeeding, so she just did. WTF, I went straight to the point. What she did was completely fucked up, no excuses. She told me that she didn't agree and that she did nothing wrong. She said that she tried everything in the past and nothing worked except for her breasts, which were the only things that calmed her down. So she just did what she always had done. I literally couldn't believe it. I asked her what was wrong with her for doing such a thing behind my back and why the fuck among all things she thought that she could dry nurse my daughter. She replied back saying that she was just doing what she thought was best for the baby and doing what my daughter wanted, adding that she didn't think she needed to inform me of such thing, since she's quite a second mother to her. I was losing it, but she continued. She added that she wasn't dry nursing her since a while ago. After using pumps and dry nursing her, she started to lactate a little, saying that the supply was still low but that in a while I could leave breastfeeding to her and stop doing it and worrying about it. I was livid, but she didn't even realize. She was completely clueless, like absorbed in her own world, like not even realizing that what she did was wrong. So I stood up from the table and told her that she was completely insane and that she was creeping me out. I told her that she wasn't allowed near my daughter anymore and to never contact me again, or I would report everything to the police. She started crying, saying that I couldn't cut her off from our daughter's life. So I lost it and shouted at her that it's not her goddamn baby, but it was me who popped her out. It was me who was pregnant for 9 months and she was my daughter and not hers, and left. I'm just completely shocked. I don't even think shocked can completely describe what I'm feeling now. I received a couple of texts from her begging to reconsider it and asking to see my daughter. I told her to stop contacting me and blocked her. If I receive another message or call or anything like that, I will report everything to the police. I'm just disgusted. She was my best friend. Why did she do something like this? I'm completely speechless. I'm editing this post again if something happens, but I just hope nothing is going to happen honestly. I just want to puke.